Good morning, good morning, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, good morning. Anger. Let's talk about anger this morning. Are you angry? Why are you angry? Are you angry? And why are you angry? Those are some questions. I want to ask you this morning. Are you angry? Why are you angry? How long have you been angry? How long have you been angry? I think back to, there was a time when I was so angry. I was angry for so long. I got tired of being angry. It's exhausting being angry. It is so exhausting being angry. Why are you so angry? You're welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Why are we so angry? There was a time I was so freaking angry. Here's my story. We're born, right? Something bad happens. We develop layers for protection. And arrested development is that. We're born, something happens, something bad happens, we develop layers to protect. Things get arrested like our self-esteem, our self-love, and our self-trust. These things get arrested, and now they form these layers of protection. We go through life with this wall up. Nobody's going to hurt me. Nobody's going to do whatever that person did. That thing that happened is not going to happen again. Right? That's the layers of protection, right? Maybe your self-esteem is low. I don't see myself the way I used to. Anger takes work, and you got to continue to relive that which you allowed to anger you to stay. Yeah, it does. It's like reliving the same thing over and over again. Reliving the same thing, like it's reliving the same thing. It's like being stung by a bee a million times, right? You just holding on to it, and it takes work to hold on to it. It does. So. And it's a normal emotion. It is a normal emotion. And there are healthy ways to release this anger. It is. I saw this video on, I think it's Instagram. And the mom took away the phone from the 12-year-old. The 12-year-old destroyed the entire house. It ain't about the phone. The phone may be triggered, that rage, right? The anger was already there. Literally destroyed the house. I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't stop looking at it. It was crazy, right? We all have, it's possible to be angry and to be in control. It is possible to be angry and to be in control. Never allow the words and actions of others to dictate your behavior, right? Never allow the words and actions of others to dictate the behavior. The Incredible Hulk that we grew up versus the cardigan Hulk, right? We see that stuff. We think it's okay. I don't know. So here's some questions. Am I an angry person? How much does it take for me to get angry? Am I an angry person? How much does it take for me to get angry? Sometimes we often say, so-and-so made me mad. So-and-so made me mad. Did they, how? How can somebody else make you mad? How? Is that even possible? We say that because that's just what we might have heard growing up when we think that that's what it is. You making me mad. How are you choosing to be mad? It's a choice. How are you choosing to be mad? People say stuff and do stuff all the time. My favorite thing I love to say is my word. The people be peopling. Ain't nothing you can do about it. The people be peopling. And there's nothing you can do. I can only control myself inside of the situation. I can't control them. I can only control myself. You must have self-control. All we're saying is that when we say that, all we're saying is that we've entered into an agreement. We signed a contract. We signed a contract saying, yep, I'm mad. You made me mad. Let me sign this contract. That's what we're saying. Let me sign that contract because, you made me mad. So give me this contract so I can sign it. How much does it take for me to get angry? How do I demonstrate anger? The people be peopling. And ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm trying to tell you, the people be peopling. What can you do with people? Nothing. You can only control you. Let the people be people, because people be peopling. Does anger master me, or do I master anger? And how do you demonstrate anger? When you're mad, what do you do? Now, growing up, my mom used to get mad. She used to drive so fast. I was so scared. She drove fast, or either she just stopped talking, and so a lot of this stuff I learned growing up, right? If you get mad, don't talk to the person. If you get mad, drive fast. If you get mad, just don't say nothing else to them. Love takeaway, right? If you get mad, these are things I saw growing up. So I thought when you get mad, you just don't talk to the person anymore. You just be done with them. You done with them, or you drive fast, right? Scared to death. Y'all should see us in the car. Scared to death. When you get mad, what do you do? Good morning. When you get mad, what do you do? When you're angry, what do you do? There are healthy ways to demonstrate your anger. There are healthy ways to release your anger. I got a boxing bag outside on my porch. I go box my bag, right? Because I can't hit nobody else. That ain't, you could, but there's consequences to that. Anything that angers us also masters us. Yes. Anything that angers us, master us. Anger is not evil. It's what we do with it, right? There are people who get so mad, and then what do? It goes to rage. They're ready to kill somebody. They're ready to take it to the next level, right? You have got to have self-control, and can't nobody control you but you. We cannot control other people. We can control ourselves inside of that situation. Do not go to bed angry, right? Who want to go to bed mad? Who? Not me. Do not go to bed angry. We got to have self-government. You got to have self-control. The greatest enemy we fight is the enemy within. The greatest enemy we fight is the enemy within. I was so mad. And I'm telling you why I was mad, because my father went in my life and I was just angry. My Instagram name was Nice Nasty. Because however you treated me, I gave it back to you. My favorite saying was, if you make me wear them shoes, you got to wear them too. Angry. I was angry for so long, right? Somebody did something to me. I was trying to get back. You hear me? I wanted them to feel how I felt. It takes too much time. It takes too much energy. Why are we it's so many people who are so mad. I like to watch this thing on YouTube, and this young lady, she shares stories about women. When I say women getting murdered by men, it's at an all-time high. And I'm like, if you're not good for each other and it's not working out, then just leave. Why you gotta kill the person? Why you gotta kill? What is that? What is going on? It's people there's so much anger, and we don't know what to do with it, right? And then we project it on other people. We hurt somebody else because we just mad. And we all, look here, I'm work in progress too. I am work in progress too. I just, I think in that moment when I'm really angry, I don't want to say anything because the emotions are really high. I don't want my emotions to speak. So I just give me time. Give me some time. Give me some space. Let me regroup. Let me think. Let me process this. Let me release this, right? And then we come back and I talk to you in a healthy way, right? It does take a lot of energy to be angry. And then the 7 hours we go back to normal. Yeah. You be so mad. Then you go back home, hey, how you doing? And then a lot of times people have different personalities. It's a thing. PTSD. This stuff is real. Sometimes people can't control it. I get it. I really do. And that's why you got to seek help and support for things that you can't not control. You need support with that. And it's okay. It is okay. Okay, what else I have? Anger is a matter of the heart. Out of the heart comes those thoughts. It's a matter of the heart. It's what's on the heart. People speak what's on the heart. You be like, I can't believe they done that. You don't know what they're going through. Everybody's going and growing through something, and we just don't know what that is. We see people and they got this smile. Hey, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm well. And it might not be the truth, right? A lot of times, can somebody handle the capacity of what's going on in your life? If I tell you what's really going on with me, could you help me? So I get why people say, I'm good, everything good. It's speaking into existence, or they just don't think that you have the capacity to even help them. So I get that. My behavior is proportioned to what's going on in my soul. The behavior is proportioned to what's going on in your soul. A lot of people are hurting. We're in a pandemic. Things are not normal. People have lost loved ones. People have lost jobs. People are sick. It's so much stuff going on, right? Life is life. And the people are peopling inside of that. And the only thing we can do is work on us and control ourselves. We can't control other people. We can't control what they do. We can't control what they say. We can't control how they act. We can for sure control ourselves. You must have self-control. And another thing, I wrote this down because it's made a lot of sense. Before you say I do, see how he or she handles anger. Right? Have you seen that person mad? Have you seen them angry? Before you say I do, make sure you see how they handle anger. It's very important. It's very important. These women that are being killed, they're not coming back. They're not. They're not coming back. Like, you have to see this person in all stages, right? Not just the happy stage. Like, you got to see them when they're mad. And it's just the type of person that you want to be with, that you want to say I do to. Right? You got to look at all of this stuff. Don't ignore them red flags trying to paint them green. Don't ignore the red flags, because that could cost you your life. There's so many women being murdered. They're being murdered. They're not here no more. They're gone. People are rage. They get to a point where, you know what, if they can't have you, can't nobody else have you. And they're taking these people out. Women and men. But a lot of stuff I'm seeing is a lot of women. A lot of women. God was never out of control. Whenever our anger controls us, our judgment is out of control. Whenever your anger controls you, your judgment is out of control. You can't even think. Have you ever been so mad and you said something or done something, and then somebody came back and told you, well, you said this and you done that? You be like, what? I did. You literally just snap. You snap, and you're not even in control anymore. The anger is in control, out of control. Like, you say stuff and do stuff. I remember my mom made me so mad, and I was on the phone talking to her. She said something. And I remember I took my phone and I threw it so hard. It was an indention in the door. Right? Didn't know. I was young. Didn't know how to process stuff. Didn't know how to control that anger. Because what I saw, I demonstrated. Getting mad, throwing stuff, yelling, cursing, driving fast. I did those things. Because that's what I saw. I said what I thought was right. New information requires new decisions, new choices, okay? So many kids are angry. So many men are angry. So many women are angry. Anger is the forerunner to rage. And then after that is destructive behavior. They get so mad, then what happens? Some people punch holes in walls. Some people punch people. Some people, you don't know what they're going to do. You just do not know. When you get to that rage, it's out of control. When it gets there, it's totally out of control, right? They just snap. We see it all the time. And then you see that person, right? I remember I was in a domestic violence incident, and this person, they was rage, right? Hands around my throat. I'm looking in this person's face. Honey, they was gone. Checked out. The eyes looked like, I don't know, that was not the person who I thought it was. Okay? That was not the person who I thought it was. In that moment, I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Like, it's just, I was looking in their eyes, and I didn't see, it was just, they looked straight through me. Right? I don't know who this is in this moment. That rage. People snap and they're not who it's that pain. It's that all of that stuff, right? It's the boiling point. Something is said or done, and then you are the victim of that, right? It happens on the highway all the time. People pull in front of you. People cut you off. You're getting bad, right? Some people retaliate. Some people, follow the car and cuss them out or do something, crazy, right? We see this happen all the time. And it ain't even about the person cutting you off. There's other stuff that they have been holding on to that they don't know how to process, don't know how to let go. And you just happen to be the victim of that rage, of that anger, of that pain that they've been holding on to probably for years. We don't even know, right? And I used to be sticking my finger up and cussing at people too when they did that to me. But you know what? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and she was sharing how we know stuff happens, right? And then we form our own story about it. Oh, they saw me. Oh, they trying to be funny, and then you ready to retaliate. You don't even know what's going on. The person the child could have had an accident. They could be trying to meet somebody at the hospital. We don't know, but we tell ourselves this stuff, right? And then we react to that. Like, say you walk into a room, and it's a group of people over there, and you walk in and they bust out laughing, right? What you gonna do? The voice in your head will say, they talking about, they picking at you. It must be you, right? And then you go over there ready to cuss them out, ready to fight. Don't even know what's going on. They could have said a joke and you just happen to walk in right when they're laughing. Like, it's things that we tell ourselves and then we act upon it. And it ain't even the truth. We get to tell ourselves the story. We get to change that story. You know what? They cut me off. They're probably in a hurry. It's okay. It's so much peace. It's so much peace when you change that story, soundtrack that's playing in your head. And you have the power to do that because we really don't know what's going on in somebody else's head. We don't know what's going on in somebody's life. People are going through stuff and we have no idea what it is. We just don't, right? It would be nice if people had little bubbles above their head and we could see, oh, so they're having a bad day. They got so-and-so just died or they just lost a job or the wife just left them or the husband. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. What else? Angry people are dangerous people. Angry people are dangerous people. And the quiet ones, you don't know what they're going to do. Angry people are dangerous people. We see that there's so many examples. I didn't know. You know that they got a show called Snap. What happened? Somebody snapped. And they killed the whole family, right? They killed them. They took somebody out. Snap, right? They just snap. And you don't know. It ain't just this one thing. It's stuff that keeps on happening. And they're just holding on to it and holding on to it and holding on to it. And then you might come along and say something that just blows the whole top off. And then they kill you. Or then they hurt you. Or then something happens, right? It ain't just that one thing. It's a layers of stuff, right? Because if you look at pain, at anger, underneath anger is pain. Underneath pain is fear. Underneath fear is regret. Underneath regret is desire. And underneath all of that is love and appreciation down to the bottom. But you gotta get there. Anger is the last thing. Then after that, top off. A person working day in and day out, no rest. Situations come about. I've seen anger and rage, cursing, and out of control. Yeah. And they just been holding on stuff, and you have to release this stuff. You have to find healthy ways. You're right, Ms. Sharon. You have to find healthy ways to release this stuff, because I am telling you, they're just exploding. And what you see it. You be like, well, it ain't that serious. Well, you don't know what they've been dealing with for years, for days, for however long they've been holding on to it. We don't know. We just see the outcome of it. Yeah, episode snapped. Episode after episode. We see this. And it's still happening. They're calling it something else. It's still happening. People are just losing it on people. And they're innocent people. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. But when you don't know how to deal with that stuff deals with you. What's on the heart flows out. And you hurt people. I just left my 30-year class, my 30-year class reunion, and people have refused to forgive adults for doing kid stuff. People, they just hold on to it. I'm telling you, I was holding on to stuff too, and I didn't even know I was holding on to it. I was holding on to it for so long. I was just stuck in dysfunction. There are people who are stuck in dysfunction. You 30 years old, still talking about high school stuff. So-and-so talked about me, and so-and-so did that. And what can you do about it? What can you do about another person? The people be peopling. What can you do about another person? Nothing. We can control ourselves inside of those situations. Emotional intelligence is important. I read books. I listen to books all the time. I'm taking personal development courses all the time because I don't want to be 45-year-old person in a 10 or 12-year-old, 17-year-old mind. Like, that's just no. But when you don't know how to do this stuff, arrested development. Let me go back to arrested development. We're born. Something bad happens. We develop layers of protection, right? What gets arrested? Our self-esteem, our self-love, and our self-trust. And we form this layer of protection. And anytime anybody violates that stuff, we're ready to go to war. We were all kids and we're guilty of doing insane. Yeah, because you don't even know. I remember growing up, me and this young lady, we were friends, and it was this word that I called her. It was a bad name, but I heard other people do that, and I was just saying it to be saying it, and I called her a B, and she stopped talking to me for a long time. A long time. I didn't understand. Wow. I was like, it's just a word. I hear people use it all the time. But as a child, I did not know. I didn't know. It just sounded like it was just a word to me. It was just a word to me. I was like, it's just, I hear everybody else calling their friends that. So I figured this is what friends do. We do what we see, and everything we see ain't always right. We do what we see, and everything we see ain't always right. Didn't know. Just didn't know. Just, as a child, we see things, we hear things, and we think they're right. And we're just acting from that place. It's not right, but we don't know it's not right. New information requires new decisions, new choices. That's why when it comes to, children, you cussing and stuff around them, they gonna be some cussers too. They just gonna cuss. Just straight up, they gonna cuss. You gotta be mindful of what you say around them. You gotta be mindful of what they're watching. You gotta be mindful of who they're around. You gotta be mindful of what they do. Okay? Because these little kids out here now just cussing better than you. You gotta be mindful. You got to be mindful. Where was I? Okay. Relationships have a powerful impact on our lives. Whether good or bad. Relationships have a powerful impact on our lives, whether good or bad. People who are ruled by their emotions are unstable, and they will make us unstable. If you're not comfortable with your emotions, you're not going to be comfortable with mine. A lot of times when I used to cry, my mom would say, don't cry. It wasn't comfortable around. She wasn't comfortable with her emotions, and therefore she wasn't comfortable with mine. I'm listening to you. Okay. You at work. Well, have a good productive day. I'm a pastor and I have to watch what I say around my. Yes, I'm telling you, kids, whatever you say, they will repeat it or they will do it. My little niece, she's 1. And I was playing with her. I was going behind the little curtain, playing hide and go seek with her. And then she went behind the curtain and started doing it. And then she fell. And I felt bad. I was like, I shouldn't have showed her that. Because, I forgot how impressionable those ages are. Like from age 1 to 12, they're literally watching and listening, learning from you. We can tell them all day long, don't do this and don't do that. But they're going to do what they see you do. Certain words you use, they're going to repeat that. You got to be so mindful of that. When I'm talking to my nephew, he sounds just like my sister. Stuff he be saying. I'm like, I know where you got it from. You got it from your mama. We have to be mindful of what we say because I'm telling you, they repeat it. They're sitting there watching you like a TV. And then they're going to start doing the same thing. Where they get that from? Oh, well, you do that. Because my nephew, he sucks his thumb sometimes, right? So my niece, she was around him. Guess what she's trying to do? And they trying to stop her from doing that. But she saw him doing that. So now she's trying to suck her thumb. And they're trying to stop her. But it's so funny. Yeah, because people are out there, the people out there peopling. The people are out there peopling. Even the little people. I'm trying to tell you. And they think it's cute. The little kids just are cussing. They just recording them laughing. Okay, you laughing and recording that thing until they cuss you. And then it ain't funny no more. Then you want to beat them. And then they confused because you was just laughing at me when I did it and then recording me. And now you want to beat me. You can't play with them. It ain't no, you got to be straight down the middle. Okay. What else? We got to build healthy relationships. Let go of the attitude that disrupts the relationship with God and others. You have to build healthy relationships. Let go of the attitude that disrupts our relationship with God and others. Abandon anything that destroys our physical and spiritual and emotional health and relational health. What else? Anger is expressed in attitude, speech. A quiet person, y'all, I remember a quiet person. Yep, you cannot compromise, right? A quiet person is a dangerous person. Throwing things, slamming doors. I forgot about the slamming door. I will slam a door. You hear me? I don't know about y'all, but I get mad. I will slam a door like the door did something. We didn't know. We just don't know. A lot of this stuff we don't know. When you taught how to process your anger, when you taught what to do with your anger, how to healthy release that. Working out, a punching bag. If you don't have a punching bag, you got pillows, punch on your bed, scream or whatever you got to do to get that stuff, to release that stuff. And if there's somebody that you need to share something with and maybe you don't want to share it with them, right? Maybe you want to write this letter, just letting everything out of your heart. That's okay too. It's called a total truth letter. Just write out everything and you can use those different prompts for the letter. I'm angry that, and write that out as many times as you can. I'm in pain. Write about the pain, whatever they cause, whatever pain issue you have with that. Write it out until you don't have nothing else left. Fear. Write out Write out what you feared. Right. Write that out until your complete regret. Write out all your regrets about that situation. And desire. Write out what you desired from that situation. And then at the end, write out love and appreciation. Right. Things happen in our lives, and I know that everything happens for a reason. Because if that stuff hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't be right here talking to you now. Everything that we go through, we grow through. And if you don't catch those lessons, I promise you they'll come back around. Catch the lessons so you don't be in a cycle of dysfunction, right? Everything happens for a reason. I cannot tell you why that thing is happening to you. I just don't know. But I know that things happen for you, right? The things, my dad not being in my life, feeling abandoned and rejection, that had to happen in order for me to be an author, in order for me to be a coach, in order for me to be a woman of God. I had to go through that. I had to get a healthy relationship with myself first, right? In order for me to know what a healthy relationship looked like with anybody else. Because hurt people. And a lot of times some people have been hurting so long, they don't know they're hurting. That was me. So when I see people and I talk to them, it's empathy. We do the best we can with the information that we have at that time. I love and appreciate the young woman I was, because she got me here, okay? And going forward, I can do it differently. I can move differently. All I can ask is for forgiveness for the people that I've hurt along the way while I was hurting. And that's honest, and that's real, and that's from the heart. What else? If you want to win in life, you must win in your mind. If you want to win in life, you have to win in your mind. It all starts here. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We have to start here. Because what's on here flows out. So we clean that up. We get the help we need. We get the support we need so we can be productive people. Right? Doing good in the world, helping other people. The stuff I went through, it's because I can come here now and talk about it. Right? You're going through the stuff. We don't understand why we're going through it. I didn't understand all the stuff I went through. Made no sense to me. I was like, God, why me? No, why not you? Right? Because the stuff I went through, I'm able to teach from that. I'm talking about my personal experiences. I'm talking about my personal lessons. Right? You can't have a testimony without a test. You cannot have a testimony without a test. Life is full of tests. Pass the test or repeat it. I got tired of staying on the cycle. I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? You got to learn. Because if you don't learn, he's going to keep sending another person around. The same person, different name. Same person, different name. Get the lesson. Get the lesson or repeat the test. Get the lesson or repeat the test. It all starts with us, right? If you got some anger, you got some pain, you got some hurt, let's check in. If this conversation triggered you, check in. What's going on here? Journal about it. The Total Truth Letter helped me. There are things that come up, and I thought I had forgave. Man, I'm like, what is this? So I write it out. I have index cards in my bag. I write it out like, oh, what's this? Let's investigate, because triggers are an invitation for an investigation, and that leads to a transformation. Triggers are an invitation for an investigation, and that leads to a transformation. I don't run from the triggers. I embrace it. I'm like, ooh, I'm a little activated right here. What is this? What's my body trying to tell me? Because your body keeps score. It just knows. And although you can just out of sight, out of mind, that sounds good. But when something happens and you get that feeling, investigate. The triggers are invitation for investigation. There's something there that you have to release, because if not, it's gonna keep coming around. That's why I don't run from it. I used to run from the triggers. Not anymore. I embrace them. Oh, what is this? Somebody said something, done something. I can't control them. That ain't got nothing to do with it. They said what they said, right? So let me investigate. Why am I feeling like this? What is this? What is my body trying to tell me? Then I just journal about it. Like, what is this? People yelling. Oh my God. It triggers me to my childhood memory. My mom was in, she was in a marriage, and her and her husband were fighting, yelling and fighting. So People yelling triggers that memory. And I'm like, oh, I don't like people yell. I don't like people in my face, So I have to investigate. What is this? So let me write out what happened, and let me create a new belief around that. They were yelling, they were upset. It had nothing to do with me. Somebody talking loud does not mean they're angry at me. They're not finna fight me, right? I had to reframe that thing. A lot of stuff that we've experienced in life, we can't do anything about it, right? But we can look at it differently. We can reframe. I'll reframe a lot of stuff. I'm the language cop. People say stuff, I'm like, oh, no, what about this? Because a lot of stuff holds us back. The biggest enemy is the inner me. We have to get out of our own way. And a lot of times, it's hard for us to see our blind spots. As a coach, I can't coach myself. In certain areas, I can, but not in all the areas, because some things I don't see. I just don't see. So get the help, get the support that you need. Yes, triggers are, let me investigate this. Like, what is this? Because it's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up. You can't run from it. You cannot. I was coaching somebody, y'all, and got triggered. I was like, oh, my little girl got triggered. Because I was talking to this man, and like the stuff he was saying, like I saw my father in him. I was like, ooh. And my little girl was like, what about your daughter? Like, what if somebody did? I mean, my little girl had, look at her, she was in it. And I thought about that thing. I was like, ooh, stop. What is this? Right? What is this? I had to back up and gather myself. I was like, ooh. So we end up, and you know what? I'm going to tell you what happened, what shifted for me. The little girl in me noticed I was talking to his little boy. He said this sentence that his father told him. He's operating from that belief. And my little girl saw his little boy. And she was like, oh, that's his little boy. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to his little boy right now. My little girl is talking to his little boy. And I had empathy and compassion for him. And our conversation shifted. I regained control again. And then I just supported him the way I could, in the capacity I could. Because a lot of stuff we don't know. Our body just holds on to this stuff. Somebody says something or does stuff and we go off. Don't even realize it. That triggered my little girl who was abandoned, who felt abandoned and rejected. And he was, using women and then saying that his father told him to make all the money he could and have all the sex he could. But you're married. I was like, wait a minute. Like who does that? Like, what about my little girl started going in. And I had to realize that he was operating from a belief that he was given as a child. And my little girl was talking to his little boy. And it just shifted the whole thing. I was like, ooh. But then I had to go talk to my fellow coaches to get coached in that area too, in case that comes up again. Like, I had to get the support I needed as well. We don't know what we don't know. And it's hard to see your blind spots. It's hard to see the picture when you're inside the frame. It's hard to see those blind spots when it's you. I just remember how much a person loved me, and I love the person, especially if someone loves me. Yeah. And here's the thing with that. I'm okay if somebody chooses me and unchooses me, because my cup is full, right? I give myself the things that I need and want from another person. I give myself that first. So whether they give it to me or not, I'm good. Whether they give it or take it away, I'm still good, because I got me. And when you get to that place, honey, it's peace. It's calmness. Whether a person stays in my life, I'm still good, because God loves me and I love me, and he got me and I got me. Because before, I was scared to be left. I was scared to be rejected. I was scared to be abandoned. I'm like, oh no, if I saw somebody about to leave me, I left first. I was like, I don't want to be the one being left. I want to do the one that was leaving. Especially if you know, that's fine. Especially if you know somebody in truth. Yeah. And love is not you doing this, you doing that. Love is, I love you. Regardless of who you are today, tomorrow. Like, I love you. Like, that word is thrown around so much. It is. Love is just, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. I love you regardless. I love you for being you, whoever you are. Even if you start peopling, it's okay. I still love you. It's okay. We're all doing the best we can with the information that we have. And that's okay. I'm enough. You're enough. It's our emotions at the time. Yeah, it's definitely emotions. So many people I thought I loved, child, damn, number lust. I was like, oh. I love everybody with agape love, as we should, right? But when it comes to that love and lust, I think sometimes we confuse that. It's like, do I really love this person? Do I lust? Like that sexual desire type thing, especially if you're in that bed. You know what I'm saying? You think it's love, and sometimes it don't be no love. It just be lust. Because if that stopped, do you still, you still love that person? If you did not do that, would you still love that person? If that was off the table, would it still be okay? Would it? Right? I don't know. That's a whole nother subject. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I'm complete. I am complete. Yeah, I'm complete. I was looking at my notes, see if I had anything else. We got to go back and deal with the pain so we can heal it. We got to go back and deal with that pain so we can heal it. When we're triggered, we turn into that little girl or we turn into that little boy. That's all it is. Whatever time that incident happened, we go back to that. Arrested development. We go back to that place. Like I said, I was coaching him. I got triggered. My little girl showed up. And I actually have a picture of my little girl. My little girl showed up when I got triggered. I was like, ooh, this is not your dad. Looks like this is not your dad. Girl, sit down somewhere. Let's go. I know you're trying to keep us safe. I know you got questions, but that ain't your daddy. I had to regroup that thing. But like I said, triggers are invitations for investigation. Let's investigate that. What is this? What is my body still holding on to? What do I need to release? Right? And then what does that look like? What does that look like? Thank you. What does that look like? It looks like me just journaling, just checking in with me. Right? And then if I get to a point where I feel like I've done all I can do and I need support, I reach out for that type of support, whether it's therapy, whether it's coaching, whether it's somebody just to talk to. Because sometimes we just want somebody to talk to. We don't want no advice. We just want somebody to listen to me. Listen to me, because who do the strong people go to? Where do they go to? People always come dumping on them. But where do they go? Prayer. Yes, prayer. Definitely prayer. But I want to pray and talk to somebody. I want somebody to listen. Like, I know God listens to us, but sometimes I want to talk to a person. Like, I got something I want to share with you. Can I share my heart with you? Are you a safe space for me to share me with you? It's so good when somebody listens to you. Like, listens, not listen to tell you what to do, not listen to give you a bunch of stuff. Just listen, not say anything. Transformational listening is just listening, right? Listening. And then if they want your support, if just ask them, would you like support in this? Do you need my support? What do you want from me in this moment? That's it. But I'm complete for real this time. I said that before, but I'm complete for real this time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. I love commenting. I love talking and interacting. Love the interaction for sure. So let me stop my podcast. I ain't been my podcast in so long.